I remember praying and telling God, I would want to get married to a pastor's kid.
Really?
Yeah. The reason why I did say that is because I wanted someone who can understand me.
Oh, yeah.
Being a pastor's kid it's good. I love it, honestly. But then it has its own, the downs are really down. Like, literally, they are so down.
Most of the things that a lot of us do in weddings are for other people.
Oh, yes.
Are for other people. So you spend for other people. And those people, immediately they leave. Ask them tomorrow morning what happened. They can't tell.
Or they'll point out a negative.
Exactly.
You guys are pastors' kids. Your first year must have been so
tough.
No,
Nice.
easy. You guys,
Why?
because you have grown up with mentors, people. That's what is in my mind.
Rodah, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If I had a problem with Jewel,
Yeah.
would I go to my own mother or dad, because they are our pastors, to ask for advice? You see, Rodah, for our firstborn child, she's a blessing, but she came with some other complications. Our child got eczema, bad eczema. And then her mother, or my wife, lost milk. Totally, from the beginning. So I was working at one of these media houses. So I worked for 2 years until I realized now it's time now to go out again. And now with the new learnings and structures I had developed, start a business. Now I resigned. On the resigning, that's when we get a child. And then with that resigning, you don't have now constant salary and all those things. Is where now you realize there is none and there is eczema. So it was really tough.
And diapers.
Yeah. To me, diapers is not even a complication.
Hi, my name is Rawder Kidula Show. This is the Rawder Kidula Show YouTube channel, and I'm here to just welcome you. If you're new, please remember to subscribe, and thank you so much for supporting this platform. On this platform, we share the positive side of marriage and families. God is in the business of restoring and causing us to thrive in our marriages and in our families, and that is what we believe in. It is time that the world knows that marriage works. God is causing us to thrive. God is causing us to be in healthy relationships. That is what this channel is about. So I won my first award because of this channel in the just concluded East Africa Women of Excellence Awards as the Emerging Leader of the Year because of the Rawder Kidula Show. And I'm here to just say thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for advertising on this platform. Thank you even for supporting this ministry. Thank you for coming to share your stories as well. Thank you for joining me in letting the world know that marriage works and God is still in the business of causing our marriages to stand. Thank you. Hi there and welcome back. This is the Rawder Kidula Show. Excited to have these conversations because God is doing something really, really major in our marriages and in our families. Yes, challenges are there, but God is also there. My name is Rawder Kidula Show. I am almost hitting 6 years of marriage. Give me my flowers. Because marriage is a lot of work. And we are told it needs a very happy worker. And yeah, so today I'm so honored because I have lovely guests on set. Before that, appreciating JK Studios, doing an amazing job in recording this. And if you are looking for videography or photography services, please reach out to JK Studios and also follow them on their social media platforms. Also, if you have a teen, this book is still available for teen girls, and this one is for teen boys. This one I wrote with my sister, their values and virtues for teen girls. And this one we collaborated with Samika Ihuri to write for teen sons. We want them to make better choices, to learn from our mistakes. So you can also reach out to know how you can order yourself a copy. Today's guests are going to introduce themselves in a very special way. Kwanza, thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
They are a young couple, as you can see. You know, they told me, bring us more young couples. You know, this older generation, tunaambiwa we need to cook chapatis at 5 a.m. We are not going to do that. We want to also see young couples that are also thriving. So please introduce your husband to us. Yes, please.
Okay.
Don't massacre, please.
Yes, don't massacre.
All right. So I am married to Jonathan Njoroge Ndirango. People before know him as Jonathan James because that's what he used to call himself, but he's Njoroge Jonathan now. Njoroge Jonathan is an interesting human being who, that's one of the things actually I didn't even like about him at the beginning, because he plays a lot of instruments, that's one. But apart from ministry, he is the CEO of Atlic Agencies.
Yeah. So Atlic Agencies does social media. You also do videography?
Yeah, production.
Production.
Yeah. And then there's...
Actually, it's just production as marketing, and then business system processes.
Yeah.
He also plays instruments.
All of them, actually, apart from the horn instrument.
Okay.
But zote, keyboard, bass, guitar, drum.
Wow.
Yeah, but I like him on bass.
Yeah, there's something.
Yeah, exactly.
Please introduce your wife.
My wife is Jibel Wangari, Njoroge. Was Nganga, now is Njoroge. And she works in an NGO, but I won't say the name because of, she's a grants officer. In that NGO. She manages those grants. You know, an NGO. Yeah, that's what she does.
Okay.
So she will not say she's a jack of all trades.
I'm not.
She's not. But she also runs or co-hosts a podcast called the Sound Girl Pod.
Yeah.
With one of my business partners.
Okay.
Sharon Muthoni.
Noni
Muthoni. Yes. So that's what she does.
Oh, okay.
She's also a singer. So the instrument thing and the singing thing is not a career. It's our ministry.
Okay.
Church. Yes. So that's what she does. She's also a mother of our 2 daughters.
Wow.
Oh, I like that. Hey, okay,
Let's give him his flowers.
That's why she did.
I'm so happy I started with you because the standards would be so high. So your parents to 2 daughters.
Yes.
How long have you been married?
Since 2020, now I think it's 4 years.
Yeah,
4 years.
Yeah.
Oh, so you also deserve flowers. Nowadays, even 2 months. Hey,
I know.
Cake.
Yeah.
You need cake and whatever. You know. How did you 2 meet? The one who saw the other first goes first.
Okay.
Ooh la la.
The truth of the matter is, I saw him first, but he says he doesn't remember the day we met. Because he was busy doing something. So I met him in church. Okay, so I was just from high school. So then I came back. Of course, now I was fully back to church, where the church I go to, So I came and...
What's the name of the church?
Fountain Gate Church, Nairobi.
Okay.
So I entered there's a place called Multipurpose, and he was seated with someone, and he was using his laptop, and he had worn a black suit. I know he doesn't remember, but he had worn a black suit and a white shirt and black shoes. And he was typing his laptop, and I was like, okay. When I entered, honestly speaking, when I entered, I was like, hey, okay, this guy looks nice, but I didn't pay much attention. I just said hi. Let me tell you, Rodah, he rolled his eyes at me, just said hi and rolled down. I was like, daughter, pastor.
Oh, you are the pastor's kid.
I realized that nimeingia kwenye meeting. So he didn't even know. He didn't even
No,
know.
you are the pastor's
daughter.
Yes.
So I thought everyone knew me, like,
yeah,
she
they
was saying it to me
should.
nicely. So later when he tells me it's because he also is a pastor. He's a bishop's
pastor.
son. So really there's no you're not any
You're not
better.
special.
You're not
Yes.
special. Even me, I was special, you know. So that's the first day I met him. His version is different. I don't know when you first met him.
No, I met her first in rehearsals.
Yeah.
Because we were doing a live recording. So I had just joined the church that actually I was not a member of the church. I'd been called to come help out on drums.
Okay.
Because I was in JQuat.
Yeah.
So it was my final year.
Yeah.
So now I was, but now you can tell the difference because it's the same year she finished Form 4. I was finishing my 4th year.
Yes.
So now I went for rehearsals and there were Friday rehearsals.
Yeah.
So that's when now I met her. But it's just me seeing her around and all those things. But the first time I said hi to her was now during the recording of the concert itself. It was in Brook House. So that's when now the first time our friend, our mutual friend, introduced us together.
To each other.
And that time. So I also had a relationship
Yeah.
You were in a relationship?
Yeah, I was in a relationship in campus that time. So it was not ended. So and it was still kicking actually, but it was in its last. What I would say, it was dying. It was dying.
What are they called? The last kicks of a dying horse.
Yes. So that's what it was. So I was not really knowing how to commit or to be in a relationship. It was just okay, she's a nice girl and all those things.
Yeah.
So that was the first time I met her, and then the rest now we could explain later.
How is dating for a pastor's kid?
So both, who do you want? Because both of us are the
you
same
go
thing.
first.
I think it has its own ups, it has its own downs. For me, let me take you back. When I was young, I remember I was in class 5. I remember praying and telling God, I would want to get married to a pastor's kid.
Really?
Yeah. The reason why I did say that is because I wanted someone who can understand me.
Oh, yeah.
Being a pastor's kid it's good. I love it, honestly. But then it has its own. The downs are really down. Like, literally, they are so down. I mean, like if I would tell you, for example, would sit in the booth with speakers, you'd be like, he would understand if I say that. Speakers are good. Yeah, because you have to carry brethren. The
Holy
same car,
Communion.
Kamoja. Yani, it's only the pastor's car. So such things, I don't think if I was telling someone who's not a pastor's kid and the struggles we went through, they would understand to the extent where he would.
Okay.
So when he mentioned as a pastor's kid, I was like, yes. Now,
This
if I
is
tell him
it.
issues and he tells me issues, I'm like, yeah. So like now, even not growing up now where we are, you can, even taking up the burden from our parents, we're able to take it together.
Yes.
So he won't drag him and he won't drag because I know what it means to be where he is in the business. But it was, of course, there are people who had my husband in their heads.
Yeah.
I don't know about your side, but people had husbands for me.
Oh,
so
yeah.
they fought us because we're not supposed to be together. Because they had someone else for me.
in mind.
Yeah.
And
But
standards.
But dating him has been interesting because we understand each other on my side. Yeah.
Is it true that when you're a pastor's kid, when you have a boyfriend, you have to introduce to your parents? And
That's what they say.
No, that's what is in my mind. That's what is in my mind. You go and say, Daddy, Mommy, I am now dating. Like the proper biblical way. That's what is in my mind.
You can answer that.
No. It's no. You see, first of all, pastors' kids are normal kids.
Yes.
They are normal teenagers. They are normal youths.
Yeah.
Meaning they can date like the way other people date. And can have boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah.
The pastor's kid coming to tell their parents about them dating is dependent on their relationship with
Their
their parents.
parents. It's parenting.
Yes, it's parenting. The same way also a person who is not a pastor's kid would go and tell the dad,
Yes.
but they have a boyfriend or a girlfriend.
Yeah.
So it's that way. However, for me it was different because I had left home with my parents the day I Lingia campus, 2012. So nimekuwa nikiishi peke yangu. Actually, I had like a life of my own.
Yes.
Because kwetu ni Nyeri. Now I'm in Nairobi. Life of my own. I don't go to the church that my dad is a bishop, PESA. I don't at all. I'm in a different church. People don't know that I'm a bishop's kid.
In J-Quad.
Yes, in J-Quad they don't know. Apart from the few that we took home to go minister. The one they wanajua. The rest of the people hawajui, they don't know.
Yeah.
So I think the difference was in Fountain Gate Church, I was like a normal young man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, a normal young man. So there was no that you're special, what is doing in it to come hizo. Though now I knew in me because of I know a pastor's kid.
Yeah.
You see the difference between now pastor's children and us is that us we struggle a lot because our parents were either pioneers or the church was really small and there was no churches because they developed to a place where they support tukiplantiwa mahali you are supported. So ni una struggle hamna pesa nini. My dad was earning $850 a month.
850,000.
Talking about
850 shillings. You know, I was like, if that was a struggle, then I'm still struggling.
50 shillings is our mom, my mom that time was a secondary school teacher. Yeah, and I for 1,500 a month. So unaona, you can see the struggle. Mi badala ya kukunyonya nilikuwa nakunywa maziwa ya ng'ombe. So when growing up, there's a lot of struggle as a pastor's kid. And it is in the name of the church.
Yes.
See? So it was not ideal for me to marry a pastor's kid.
Oh, yes.
It was not. But then
Because the struggle.
the struggle is, but we understand each other now because we know, like now when I tell her I have to come late because we have to do this thing in church, she understands.
Yeah.
Of course, now we are serving together with my parents in Roha, our parents, and sometimes you have to sacrifice. Sometimes she won't understand. I think the sacrifice I make for either church and ministry or the things I do for God, if I had married a different person, they wouldn't understand. Even the money we give sometimes, they won't understand.
Why?
That's true.
You've just met, right? How did it become now a relationship?
Rhoda, let me now. This is
this is where you shine. This is your moment.
First of all, you should know that when I met her, she has just turned 18.
Oh yes.
Right.
After high school.
And I was 22. At this stage of our lives, my life, marriage was nowhere near the picture. First of all, you should know that.
You were in a relationship.
Yes, but remember, now the relationship died.
Oh yeah.
The day I met her. Actually, that December is when because after the concert we went for something she used called Commission Conference.
Oh, I know Commission Conference.
So it was in Jaikwat. Actually, I was the chairman of the entire conference that year. So in that year, we broke the relationship with the lady. Not because tulikosana, but our beliefs are different. We are really different. So that's where now in January the following year, I think February. That's where now we started like a sort of like a relationship and friendship with her. So ideally we were just now flowing. Yes, we know she's a special person to me. We are dating or we're in a relationship, but there's nothing like serious about marriage. She's too young.
She's 18.
So the following year she enters Strathmore School. Anasoma. Mimi nishamaliza sasa nishaanza biashara yangu ya photography. And now we started flowing. I committed that I would not do what we call frog jump.
What is frog jump?
Frog jump is where you change one lady and jump to another lady, trying to test things out. So I decided, let me try this out. Actually, it is later that I came to know, later in the following year, that she's actually the pastor's kid. Yes. When I got what we call in our church the right hand of fellowship, when now you go through the new beginners class, and I knew, she's actually the pastor's kid, but I'm also a pastor's kid, so let's flow. So we dated. Now, from the time that we started this relationship in 2015 to the time now we decided we are going to get married, because we dated for a whole 5 years.
It was important. Based on the age. It was
but in those 5 years, the last 2 years is when I committed that I'm going to get married to her. Right? So that's what I did. And to make her believe, this is how I actually proposed. I did not propose to her. I went to the dad. Yes. I went to the dad, met him in the office on this faithful Wednesday. And I told the dad that I am planning to get married. Although he thought that I was coming just a normal mshirika or a normal congregant, informing him about marriage. But he did not know that I was coming to surprise him about me getting married to
his daughter.
So actually that's how I not really proposed. I made it clear because I think she had some doubts. To a point where she was threatening me that she wanted to go to do masters. I told her, go do masters. You'll meet me here waiting.
Waiting for you after masters.
Me, I could not wait. Because also, according to how I think I run my life, I have targets of things. So I wanted really to get married between 27 and 28. Now from 22, 5 years is 27.
Yes.
So I'm thinking if I wait for her to go to and do her masters, tricky. So I think that's when I told the dad, she knew I was serious. And then later now I came and told her, now this is serious, I have to tell you and all those things. And now we committed and I knew that we were going to get married. That's how I actually did it, because I knew there were a lot of things. Now, I don't know, you're not a pastor's kid, so you don't know anything about church politics.
My grandfather was the superintendent of PAG in Vihiga or something. That's the closest.
So the reason I did that is because if in that, when you're dealing with a kind of high level of a pastor's kid, people have expectations.
Oh, yeah.
You see now how me being a pastor's kid makes me understand how to deal with her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I know, hey, if I start with the protocol of how the church is supposed to do or announce marriage, watu hapa katikati, the people in between
Yes.
will just fight because they also have an idea of who should get married.
Marriage,
exactly.
So I had to start on
And
top.
what age should you get married?
I should start on top so that the top person, if he agrees, the rest have just comply.
Oh, yes.
So that's how it worked out. And of course, I had several advisors. I had several advisors who advised me on how to go about it. And I knew if I started this way, it will not see the light of day.
Yeah.
Because people they wanted other people who seem to be either better or going in the direction of preaching or preachers. You know, for me now, I'm in the direction of entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Serial entrepreneurship.
Serial, nothing to do with this.
Yes, but when it comes to, there are other people who are better because they were given chances to preach in church and all those things, and they were more prospects. And you see, people think a person who marries, and that's where there was a mistake. People think a person who gets married to Jewel is the one who inherits the church. You see, that's the kind of thinking people have.
Yeah. Which is a very wrong
It's a very wrong thinking. The person who marries Jewel does not necessarily mean the one who inherits the church. You know, church and pastoral is a calling.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
the church succession does not work like wealth inheritance. Like, you are my child, take it.
Yeah.
No. The child, you'll find that the children have no idea about church and leadership and calling and all those things. They don't have that pastoral calling.
Yeah.
Some of them don't even love God themselves. So you see now, that's what people think. It was about inheritance and succession. But me, I know, no, it does not work like that. Like, for example, there is no way my dad could come and tell me, Jonathan, I want you to give you the bishophood of PEFA. I cannot even accept.
Serious?
I cannot.
The Bishop of PEFA.
I cannot.
Don't say you
It's a
cannot.
calling.
Even for a
It's
year.
a calling.
No, I'm saying it's a calling. If the calling is there and God calls me in that direction, it's fine. And also there is a process. For you to become a bishop, there's a process. And you have to be true, tested, and all those things. So now, that's now the twisted mindset people had. So they had to say, this person is the one who preaches, so he's the one who should marry Jewel.
So that together.
they can.
So there was a whole quagmire of stuff that was there that it was tough. But then it was tough. In those like 5 years, it was pretty tough.
Yeah, it was
But you also asked her.
Yeah, I did ask her. I did ask her.
yeah, eventually. Later on.
I did ask
After
her.
the church agreed.
Yes.
Now.
But for me, I was not. I think the one for the ring was not really. I was not fascinated much about it. Of course,
Going
it came
down
and
on
it
the
stamped.
knees
Yeah,
and-
no, for me, I even told him if we do or not, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
My issue was, will my parents be okay with what we have decided to do? So him telling my dad was it. I knew there's no going. In fact, we started planning immediately because it was a year before. We got married in 2020, so he told him in 2019, sorry. We started planning things because now that cements everything. I mean, if you're going to my dad, that is respecting me.
Yeah.
And he didn't even
that's
ask
being
me.
serious.
He didn't even. I just talked whether I'm just from seeing Pastor James. I'm like, for what I was going to tell him, I was like,
Nice.
Then the next Sunday he saw my mom. So that cemented everything. Whether he did ring or not,
You're good.
of course, but he did eventually. But yeah.
I'm
No, I
trying
don't.
to look
Yeah, I don't.
Hey,
He does.
We are all married women. What is your ring story?
He lost it. Yeah.
I need to replace it.
Yeah.
No,
but you
upgrade it.
Oh,
Yes,
that's the word.
yes.
Okay.
It's the
So
word is
that's the word.
upgrade.
Upgrade.
The word is upgraded.
Yeah.
So as a person, why did you say yes to him as a person?
That time, when you were later.
No,
on.
now as a why did you say yes to Jonathan?
The beginning of the relationship.
Yes. Why him?
Because he gave me his vision. It doesn't make sense, I know, for a 22-year-old, but he gave me his vision. There's a place my phone got lost, but there's a place I used to write what to tell me. He told me this is what I want to do in 5 years. I was even sending him some email he sent me and told me he had something called J Music or something. He had even written how he wants to produce songs. Like, he already gave me a template. So I was like, if this person gives you something that is already planned his life, what else?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, this guy knows what he's doing. I saw where he was headed to. And I keep telling him, even though it's not made fruition to, okay, there's some things that I have, but even if it hasn't, I know one day. Let's just keep pursuing. One day to make sense.
Wow.
So yeah, that's why I did that.
Why was she the one?
She was beautiful. And young at time. She was beautiful. But anyway, I think to me, I like people who think. Sapiosexuals is people who are attracted to intelligent minds.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
So you are.
Miri, let me tell you, if you don't have anything else but you have
brains.
this, I can just engage with you.
Yeah.
So she was young. Remember, she was 4 years younger. Or she is even now.
Yeah.
But
That won't change.
I'm not caught up yet.
so she's young, but at that age, the way she was thinking, like one of the things that really made me happy is when she finished her 4th form, she decided to come and work in the church administration office.
Admin.
Yes.
Ooh.
Admin office. And it really showed me it's not what a normal Form 4 leave out would do.
Yeah.
So she came and worked there. And you see, because we were also living in around the church place, and I used to come to church every day, I used to see her. And she was working there, and of course she was getting some stipend. However, how she spent the stipend was not the smartest. But still, the fact that...
You've never told me this.
What was she buying? Clothes.
Of course, I enjoyed some of that money. She bought something.
So, it was not wise for you to enjoy.
But that really showed me, okay, this is the kind of person she is. Also, I like people, and you see, you can tell a person by where she gets her counsel and the circle of friends.
Yes.
And part of her very close people was her mother. You know, her mother is our pastor.
Yes.
And you see, she listens and she obeys. So she thinks very differently from how other young ladies would.
Yeah.
So from that, I would not tell you that I saw a vision or there was purpose. At that age, there's nothing. At 22, there's nothing about
There's no
purpose that you know. There is nothing. Actually, guys, don't lie to yourself that at 24 you have no purpose. Of course, there are some who will, but it was about, okay, I like her character, I like the way she's doing her things, the way her thought process. I like the way she's a bit more mature, of course, because of interacting with other older women.
Yes.
So those are the things that you can, okay. You see now, I had a decision to make. I could get either just a 2-year-old younger or the same age to be. But what really attracted me to her is, okay, she's really mature for her age. We have a long way to go. I was not also mature then. So we could grow
together.
She could easily tell you how immature I was because I was shouting all over and you know, we had tough times in those beginning years of the relationship. But that's what I really liked about her. And I thought, okay, she's somewhere, if we just brought our minds together, we would. And right now it is also evident. Like the moves I make, like even in business, and in the moves that I make even concerning our family, because of that level of maturity and understanding, she's able to, okay, sawa.
That is good.
If it's another woman, I'm saying, wow, I'm going to get a heart attack. Because I make crazy moves. Yes, I do make a lot of crazy moves.
So you see, risk taker.
Yes, I'm a risk taker, a huge one. So she understands and she knows how to see vision and to see progress, and she understands. She knows how to be patient. Like you see, when I'm running businesses, sometimes it will take like 1-2 years for things to get formation. She's patient enough to do that. Some other people need kama you work 3 months ni enough. Only 3 months recording conception. So at the end of the day, it's not that. It's not even about a lot of things. Just that she is able to accommodate me and my personality and my character, and she is able to understand it that way. And also at that time, I found it very smart that she could work.
As an admin.
She could work.
Are you a finance person?
That direction.
The wedding. I always want to ask, what would you do different
for the wedding?
if you were to redo your wedding?
I think for me, I had the perfect wedding ever because I had few people that I chose
Yes.
to come for the wedding. That one. Let me just tell you, honestly speaking.
How many people came for your wedding?
15. It was
No.
COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a COVID wedding.
So I wouldn't change anything, honestly.
Oh, you are lucky.
I was so happy.
You are so lucky. You chose 15 people.
We wrote down, let's say we were going to put this one. That thing blew my mind.
And do you know how scared I always am to go for pastors' kids' weddings?
Because of numbers.
No, bishops, all bishops' friends. I think the weddings are always about the bishop.
Rodah, you should ask the background, of that COVID wedding.
Yeah, it should be the background.
Initially, the plan for our wedding was to have around 1,500 people.
Yes.
Right?
I was scared.
The budget of the wedding was close to 2 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
Actually, to me, I think I thank God the Almighty that COVID hit the world.
Not the part of people dying.
Not the part of people suffering and dying.
Because what happened is that,
It worked for your
actually, I realized at some point I was getting depressed.
Oh, yeah.
You're actually sick.
Yeah, because I was wondering why we have to spend all this money.
Yes.
But it was justifiable because of the number of people who had to come for the wedding.
Yeah.
No.
Who are parents.
So if we were to pack people in our church where we go,
Yeah.
it's like 800, 900. So you cannot do it even in our local church.
Yes.
So you have to go outside.
Yeah.
The venue,
Yes.
food, and all those things. There was a lot of people. I already knew that from my dad's side,
Yes, the
I
bishop.
will not lack 70 bishops. 70 bishops. Meaning,
without
Plus their wives.
without their wives. If it's their wives, that's
Yes.
140. If they come with the other children, now their children, calculate is like 400 of bishops and their family. Calculate her dad.
Yes, and his friends.
So it was just, it was huge. So when COVID came and you had to tone down, and you see these 15 people,
Yeah.
Rodah, is inclusive of the media team live streaming.
Ooh.
Yes. It's inclusive of the media team that was live streaming the wedding.
Yeah.
Because anytime the chief could come and say, you are excess.
You're excess.
She's smiling.
I'm so happy.
Who are these 15? You are part of the 15?
Yes, we were part of the 15.
Oh.
Because it actually it
What?
was her parents,
Yeah.
my parents, and our siblings. And the pastor officiating, and the pastor who now was representing or who came with my dad.
And the best couple?
And the
Or
best couple. And the media
But it
team.
was 15 at the sitting. So, like the singing team came, couple outside, then they go out.
Then they go out
Then
and the rest come in.
Actually,
Oh.
the bridal team was not even inside.
Yeah, they didn't even come.
You even had a bridal team.
Yeah.
Because of photos and that.
Oh,
Yeah.
you
Yes.
found one reason why bridal team is important. Photos.
That was it. I
you
was so
wouldn't
happy.
change anything.
I would not change anything about that wedding.
Oh.
It also even cut the budget
Yeah.
for
Yes.
honeymoons.
Yeah. Oh,
Because
yeah.
we could not
Couldn't
travel.
Oh, yeah.
We couldn't go to Nairobi. There was curfew.
Yeah, actually, our parents had to really work hard to make sure that my parents crossed the border
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
at Kenol to come
come
from
over
Central
to-
to come to Nairobi.
Oh, for the
So
wedding.
yeah, because it was really difficult at that time. So there's nothing I would change. It was very intimate. It was short. Within 1 hour,
Yeah.
everything was
Wow.
done.
Yeah, by the way.
It was complete. By the way, have you ever seen a wedding ending at 1,
Yeah, it was
Ooh.
done. Including the reception.
including the reception?
Nice.
1 o'clock. We were done. Inside at 11, right?
Yes.
11 or 10.
So everything was done, and it was just the best wedding ever. It was intimate. It was our parents giving the speeches, not representatives. of-
Exactly. Yeah,
And the representative calling.
Someone I know, yeah, it was our
So
parents.
it was a very nice wedding, and I loved it. Of course, we spent some money on things that now, because there was not a lot of things to spend money, we spend on money on things that matters.
Yes.
Like I believe in spending money on like myself. Like the suit I wore, I'm very proud I wore an expensive suit.
Does it still fit?
Yeah.
I wear it now.
Still
I feel that that's a good spend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I don't feel is a good spend is her gown, because she never wears it again. And it came from China.
And you know, does it still fit?
I've not
No.
filtered it since. I'm sure it doesn't.
Yeah, said a big no. So,
it was tiny.
so
the rest
I'm
of-
thinking those who are planning for weddings, there's something you are learning. There's so much that is apparently unnecessary.
Yeah, there are
There are many
there
things.
were actually very many things I discovered. And then for me, what blew my mind about the wedding is that it was people that wished us well, honestly. You know,
Oh,
people outside
yeah.
here want to see what Rodah wore,
Yeah.
the gown in a kambaya, sijui.
Yeah, the food.
The food was bad, they didn't give us meat.
the colours.
Now, so it was people who really wished us well.
Well.
Like it was honestly, in their hearts of hearts, they wished us well.
Wow.
So I think that's why for me it was...
We have had a chance of also being a best couple for some people
Yeah.
who now post-COVID,
Post-COVID,
yeah.
post-COVID. And what I would say is most of the things that a lot of us do in weddings are for other people.
Oh, yes.
Are for other people. So you spend for other people. And those people immediately they leave. Ask them tomorrow morning what happened. They can't tell.
Or they'll point out a negative.
A negative.
Exactly.
Or maybe you have chicken for them, but they got a
want-
small piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
They
it
wanted
just
goods.
becomes a whole thing. So you will never satisfy people.
Yeah.
So sometimes, and I always ask myself, like what I asked myself, like the entire wedding planning season was so stressful. That evening, I asked Jewel, so what was all that fuss about? A whole year of planning a wedding.
Yeah.
Naime, say to Hapa.
Yeah.
So what was all that fuss about and what a trouble about? And you realize you are troubling for nothing.
Yeah.
There is nothing. But the things that we do in weddings, like hiring big cars, all those things, I would say if you are doing them for yourself, fine.
Good.
If you are doing them for other
others
people
to
to
see.
see, there's a
Yeah.
problem there.
Yeah.
You don't have to spend it.
Exactly.
And especially when you don't have money from your pocket, you are expecting other people to
Exactly.
give you the
Help
money.
you make money.
And even if it's money for your pocket, I would tell you, the real thing is when you get married. You realize that you need that money
Yeah.
after you get married.
Married.
Yeah.
That's when you need it.
But you guys are pastors' kids. Your first year must have been so...
Tough.
No,
Nice.
easy. You guys...
Why?
Because
Why?
you have grown up with mentors, people... That's what is in my mind.
Rodah, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If I had a problem with Jewel,
Yeah.
would I go to my own mother or dad because they are our pastors to ask for advice?
No.
I can't.
No. Why?
You see, Rodah, you could
Me, I
easily
can go to my mother.
you could go, but
But now
actually,
this time,
you
your
could-
mother is your spiritual head. So how do you go to them?
you Rodah, you could go right now to your pastor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Concerning your
yeah.
For us, our pastors are
And
our
your
parents.
parents.
Biological parents.
You can't.
Yeah.
Actually, our difficult part is not trying to expose a lot about us, because
marriage.
if we expose a lot about us, it exposes our parents.
Oh,
Exactly.
yes.
Yeah.
So we don't look at you as Jew.
Yes.
It's Pastor and his daughter.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
And I could tell you, it has taken, I don't think, it's either once, I don't even remember. We have never gone outside us to solve a marriage matter.
Oh.
No. We have, even to our best couple.
Yeah. That's true.
I know they will be
Then
watching.
you are
They
blessed. It
cannot.
means you've also not, you've understood each other. The basics.
Is it?
Yeah, because this is what I'm thinking. When if maybe say something like communication is too bad, you will have to involve a third party. So you're good. Maybe you're a good communicator. Tell
But
us.
what we did
Yeah.
is that instead of going to, because what we feel or what we felt is that, you see, even our best couple, Nona, actually the choosing our best couple should be another whole topic.
Oh yeah.
So our best couple are a bit older,
Oh.
way older. And sometimes we feel as if going to them with a 1-year-old marriage problem,
Yeah.
they look as watoi.
Yeah.
They are children. So what we decided is, there are those friends of ours who we married at the same time.
Oh yes.
So we formed some of them are our best friends. So we formed a place where we call it I forget, Hague. We call it Hague.
I know the Hague.
Yes, the
Yeah.
Hague.
Yeah.
So the Hague is a place where you go we are not supposed to, no, and I know for marriage, you're not supposed to expose one another outside.
Yes.
But we have allowed ourselves to expose one another in this
The Hague.
Yeah, in the Hague.
Wow.
Because we cannot-
Everyone needs a Hague.
Yes.
Yeah.
We cannot live as though they are the perfect ones.
Yeah.
When I
yeah.
come here, I'm supposed to show Rodah that Jewel is the perfect person.
Yes.
That's what we call covering.
Yeah.
Yes.
But now there's a place where we show the true colors, by the way, because they are able to be vulnerable to us.
Yeah.
They will come and say, hey, my wife last night. And so that Hague helps us to become real,
Yeah.
Nona, and they are not partial. They
Yeah.
do not look at
Yeah,
Jewel
it's true.
as the pastor's children, as the kid, or no. They are saying, by the way, Jewel, you did a mistake
Because,
there.
Oh, yes.
Exactly.
So that Hague is usually a very safe space.
yeah,
Oh,
it's a safe
nice.
space.
So that's why a lot of many happens.
And they are all godly people.
We are all
Yes.
godly.
The choice of your hair goals.
yeah, it's true.
So that Hague really happens. And not only when things are bad, but when we are looking to do things. Like that Hague people, we have invested in property.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
No. So we help one another in several other ways.
Yeah.
But it really helps now to not really remove or expose things about our marriage outside.
Yes.
So that's why now our parents are protected, my parents are protected, because the day that it will be heard that Jewel and Jonathan have done ABCD, it becomes a ridicule.
Yeah,
To the
them.
church.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how was your first year
Hey,
adjusting?
So I think for us, what I'd say is I think that 5 year really helped because we had battles. Those 5 years, I don't want to go back.
Yeah.
We really had battles. So it's like it was our formation stage.
Oh, yeah.
So when we entered into marriage, it was like now learning now the things you don't know. I don't know if it makes sense. The things that now you learn when you meet someone on
Everything
the ground.
else
Yes,
you had known.
So for us, the first year we enjoyed the first. Oh my God, we had vouchers for CG. What? Yeah, we ate. We used to eat. You can keep reminding me. We used to eat. We used to have cornflakes, oats, Weetabix. Like we enjoyed our marriage that first year. We used to eat sausages, bacon, ham. Like we really enjoyed.
You enjoyed.
Okay, well, the good thing we did is we bought a lot of toiletries. That lasted us for 2 years. In our marriage, we bought a lot of toiletries, and only the two of us. I mean, and I'm going to work, is going to work. So really, there's nothing we're going to use much in the house. We'd buy bulk tokens, all that. Like we would do well. So our first year really was not a problem for us. We enjoyed the first year.
Yeah.
Of course, the second year came, and then now we decided to get a child, but we're not going there. But for us, our first year was good. We enjoyed our first year. And I think the learning part of someone also is interesting. You want to know what they're doing. He acts like this. Okay, of course, we would fight here and there, but if it to really,
So
they're
you
not.
are calling them Vitu.
Okay, that time they were big, of course. But okay, now you think about it, like the other day we argued about juice. I mean, juice of all
Juice.
things. Yeah, so that time. But then I think our arguments were not that straining to feel like I want to leave and pack. I never packed and I never said I'll pack and go. Yeah, because I think those 5 years really formed us. Oh, we really got a lot of formation. We had a lot of fights from the out and from the in.
Yeah.
So it was a struggle for us. But for first year, me personally, I
enjoyed it.
We ate nice things. That's what I can remember. Yeah.
The same applies to you.
Yeah, I think it was not a bad year. It was just now, of course, it was culture shock.
For you.
It was real. It was culture shock. The reason I'm saying that is because we are from totally very different families. Totally very different in terms of relationships, in terms of material wealth. It's different.
Oh.
Yeah, it's quite different. And not that not in terms of quantity, but even how you approach material and all those things. I think there is a liberation their family has concerning money that ours did not have then. So I came with certain notions about things, about money, and even relationships. Like an example is, even today I struggle telling Jewel I love you.
Oh.
Yeah, it's quite a struggle.
Speaking the words.
Yes.
Yeah,
But you love her.
Yeah, I do love her. But speaking the
actions
words,
will show, but the words.
The words.
I because from where I am from, maybe now it's different, but it was very difficult for my own dad
Yes.
to tell you that I love you. wacha niseme Kiswahili, mapenzi mushi. It's very difficult. So he loves you,
Yes.
but then he's a dad. So he's a dad.
Yeah.
So when we get into marriage, for them, because even now I interact with their family more than ours because it's near.
Yeah.
Hey, these people. Hey, every time. Every time, her dad has to send a picture every morning to their WhatsApp group saying, this is who I am, guys, Nini, vitu kama hizo.
Wow.
Yeah, I think they are so relational.
Yeah.
They know how to express love to one another, which is not very different. So you see now she expects that kind of things this side. And me, I'm this very... I'm a brick wall, impenetrable.
Yes.
So it was a little bit difficult, and all those things, how she thinks about money things, how I think about shopping. And we give this story everywhere we go. One of the things that I really got angry one day is she wants to boil cereals with gas, and there is a electric pressure cooker.
Yeah.
So she's saying, Jonathan, you see electricity, it's the bill, Nini. So I'm asking her, hey, where are you from? Where are you from?
Yeah.
You boil the cereals, or those cereals with gas.
Yes.
And the gas ends.
Yeah.
You cannot buy gas for 20 bob. But if electricity ends,
you can buy for
20 bob in the morning. But if gas ends, you're mtungi.
Yes,
you have to refill. That time it was 1300. So when you're considering, look at what is, I know we're talking about electricity here, but it's easy to replenish electricity than gas. If at 10 p.m. gas ends, where do you get the gas, man?
Tomorrow morning.
Electricity will just buy units.
Yes.
And that's it. So you see, she's thinking this way. It makes sense to her. But to me, because also, the other thing, she has never lived alone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I took her from her parents' house to my house. I have lived alone.
Yes.
From the time I came to Nairobi. So I know how to manage small money and all those things. So she goes to shopping and she buys brawn, a pack of sausages. Oh my God. Are you okay? Are you okay?
What did you want her to come with guache?
No. I mean, that's not the first thing you should buy. To me, you should buy things that are not luxury first. Then when now there is excess, buy luxury.
But now to you, luxury is sausage. Yeah. It's not.
No,
it's normal. It's bread.
So for me, buffalo is what should be the epitome of luxury. So
in case you have money left, then we can buy sausage.
Actually, she started buying which bread? You know that bread that is round instead. You know that round bread?
With the nuts.
With the nuts.
The black ones.
So bread is 100 shillings.
But that's not sweet at all.
So you see, those are some of the things. And then I realized now as we were going on that this marriage is actually working on me. I am the problem.
Yes.
Okay.
I am the one who has this kind of, let me be brutal to myself, to a sort of a huge poverty mentality.
Yes, scarcity mentality.
Yes, scarcity. Considering that some of the where now even our level of income was, those are the things we could now afford them, even without nothing else, we could afford them. But I'm still thinking like a person who did not have. So I felt as if that's when I realized by the way it's really working on me, and it's really changing the way I think. And of course, the first people to experience the changed Jonathan was my own parents.
Oh la la!
Yes, because I'll tell them, hey guys, why are you thinking like this? Why are you struggling with small things? Yet you can afford them, but you are not, because I told you it came from somewhere. It came from somewhere. I'm from a family where some resources are there. The resources are there. But then we cannot spend them in a certain way because of a mentality. You see the hoarding mentality.
Yes.
For them is it's there, guys. Let's spend.
We live a day at a time.
Yes. And I came to realize the problem of not spending is that others don't come.
Oh.
You see,
If you hold something,
if I hold something,
nothing.
if I release it to you, Rodah, something else comes.
Yeah.
So for us who hold or who are used to hold, we just retain what we have, but you don't get more.
Yeah.
So now those are some of the things, and I really am glad that Nini come, because now I am teaching my children a totally different way.
Yes.
Totally different.
Wow.
Yes.
Then the children you've mentioned.
Yes.
After 2 years,
Yeah, it
Yes.
was 3 years.
you decided it was intentional. You decided when to
intentional.
have kids.
Yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Of course, there was us deciding, but also God allowed it.
God allowed it. Yeah. Explain.
Yeah, there's that part.
20 marks.
Because we have friends who have decided, but they don't get yet.
I hear you.
So I think God graced us that our trial became the first and the last trial. So at least we got our firstborn immediately after we opened up for a child. And it was quite a journey. Actually, it was not that complicated because we were all
Ready.
Prepared,
Yeah,
yeah.
prepared.
But now that season of us being okay changed when now the child was born.
The pregnancy was okay.
The pregnancy was very okay.
I had my
Everything was fine.
own share.
Yeah, she can now, on her part, she could explain some of the things that were going in her mind.
Yeah.
But for me, the pregnancy season was not that complicated. She did not have a lot of complications. Even during giving birth, there was no complications. But it became now, for me, it became the flipping happened now when the child was born.
Yeah.
Because a lot of things now happened there that interesting. So I don't know whether I shall first of all let her say about her
The
experience.
pregnancy,
journey.
yeah.
So, for some reason, God has blessed us, the two of us, that is, with I don't know how to say it, but when He decides something in His head,
Yeah.
surprisingly, I have decided the same thing in my head. We don't argue much about it.
Wow.
Even our wedding date, He just said the date. I said fine. Like
Good.
there's no, we don't have about major decisions in our life.
Yeah.
So I had thought about a child, and He had thought. So we had not even spoken about it. So one of those, when you're single, not single meaning without children.
Yeah.
You're in the kitchen, just doing Saturday morning breakfast is together. You cook together some breakfast. Feel nice. You cook supper together. You wash the clothes, then you anikas, like that kind of.
Yes.
So none of our ninis just said, "Oh, but I've been thinking you should get." He's like, the same thing I've been thinking about. So that's how it was decided. So to say, it was not that him forcing me or me forcing me. It was just. So when you decided that is the way to go, we didn't even stay much. We got a child. We conceived.
Yeah.
Then the pregnancy for me was a bit not really tough, but I puked the entire. I don't know why. To the last day, I didn't disturb much about those things for history cravings and whatever. Yeah. But for me, that whole journey for me is when I understood what it means actually to be married, and being each other's support. Because sometimes I couldn't, like when you're pregnant, the things you can, like bending is a struggle. I mean, the puke still he'd wipe for me. Sometimes I get home so tired, he's already cooked for me food, and he'd try new recipes here and there just to see me. Okay, I was not disturbed by the smell of vitungu and whatever. So I'd find he'd cook something interesting, stew breadcrumbs in what? Those things. So that's when I understood this is now what it means to help each other.
Yeah.
So in that, for me, that year for me was, I understood now what a husband means. He's coming to help me and I'm coming to help him.
Yeah.
It's a two-way thing. So for me, that pregnancy was easy in terms of how it took us until the end. Now when I delivered we believed God for a good delivery and a healthy baby and a healthy mother, and that's what the Lord gave to us. Yeah. That is the story.
What happened after?
Let me tell you, men.
Yeah. Men.
Men, this is where things get tough. You see, Rodah, for our firstborn child, she's a blessing, but she came with some other complications. Our child got eczema, bad eczema. And then her mother, or my wife, lost milk.
Yeah.
Totally, from the beginning. So our child was depending on none. Formula milk, and she had to spend a lot of money on eczema treatment.
Oh yeah.
So it's not something that I was expecting.
Yes.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It was not something that we had planned for.
Yeah.
To realize that you have to buy like La Roche,
Yeah.
very expensive,
Yes.
and you have to smear so it ends very fast.
Yeah.
And our child now, this is the blessing. The blessing is our child feeds. But now the feeding is on none.
And none.
That's 2 shillings.
None is not milk powder.
It's crazy.
It was difficult.
Yeah.
Quite difficult. And then it came at a time when the child came at a time when, you see, I was working. And after our marriage, one of the things that shocked me is that you see, now when I was single, it's me, myself, and I.
Yeah.
So my small production business, the small 2,000 I get, marriage brings a whole lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
So I realized that business of mine could not sustain the family. So I went to look for a job. So I was working at one of these media houses. So I worked for 2 years until I realized now it's time now to go out again. And now with the new learnings and structures I had developed, start a business. Now I resigned. On the resigning, that's when we get a child. And then with that resigning, you don't have now constant salary and all those things. Is where now you realize there is none and there is eczema. So it was really tough.
And diapers.
Yeah. To me, diapers is not even a complication, because diapers.
By the way, diapers is normal.
But these are other ones.
A teen ends in 3 days.
Yes, a teen ends in 3 days. Then there is lack of those nini. You have to go even to Moja to look for those teens. And now the price is up to 2,000 and all those things. So you are spending close to 5,000-6,000 a week.
On none.
On none and all those things. To a point where I was feeling, oh my God, so now what's this? To a place where you feel you would want either to look for a solution, either you live with none, feed with normal milk and all those things. And there was, in terms of the provision part of it, it became really difficult for me, because now the expenses just skyrocketed. We normally say, when we are advising young men, that once you get married, immediately get married, you will not see any change in your expenditure. Because now, how much more food will you add because of your 2 of you? Nah, there's not much. But when a child comes, there should be around 30 to 40% increment.
Then when the second one comes,
Yes, but for ours it was not 30. For Tandy it was like 60 to 70 increment immediately. You see,
expenditure
that you cannot adjust.
and the income is constant,
and you cannot give alternatives.
You cannot give alternatives. So it was that a bit difficult. And to me, it really even gave me a lot of fear and trauma. Getting another child. Which now became another whole story. When now, because the second child was not planned, it was about
How many did you want in the beginning?
None with the beginning. Then we tried to convince. He said 1. So he had stuck at 1. I don't know if he has changed his mind. Actually, to me, the number of children is not really an issue. How they come is what is an issue to me. So we would wanted, even if a second child comes, is after like 2 years. Space them. But this child came exactly 1 year after the firstborn.
So you conceived 3 months.
Exactly.
Was this one healed, Kwanza?
Which one?
No, we suffered eczema all the way till she turned 1.
Yes.
So actually, eczema has ended this year. Yes, because she turned 1 in November last year.
November. So that was a lot of information at once. Wait. I can't believe. Okay, I'm now looking at myself when my son was 3 months, and then someone tells me I'm pregnant.
You get it?
No, I can't get it.
You can imagine.
You get it?
Yeah, so.
Okay, can I ask why?
Why in relation to which question? Okay.
So when you chose to conceive?
No, we didn't
choose. Were you on family planning?
No.
That is choosing.
No, it wasn't that. Okay, I don't know.
That is choosing to conceive.
Okay.
Okay, no, explain
No, let me
to
tell you,
Yeah.
actually. So, I am already healed. So, whatever I say here is
It's
not
okay.
from trauma.
Yeah.
I actually thought that all along, she was on family planning,
Oh.
personally.
Immediately after.
Immediately after.
But the first
Yes, all
yeah.
along.
Yeah.
Because our family planning method is not that complicated. Sile inahitaji a lot of complications. So it was I already thought, because we had talked about the planning, I thought that she had already implemented it.
Oh, yeah.
No, no. So, but unfortunately, or fortunately,
For now.
she did not. So by the time we were now lovey-doving, she was the goalkeeper was not fair. You see, so now actually the time she told me,
Yeah.
half was excited, but then afterwards, that's when it hit me.
Yeah.
And now what was really hitting me was the trauma of
None.
this is how I struggled with this one. Now there are two. This one is not even out of the woods yet.
Yeah. He's a
And now
3-month-old.
and there are two. No. And hey, it was just, and you see, my trouble is not even about the maternity fee and all that. No, that's not my trouble, because that's a one-off fee.
Yes.
There's this continual every time, and you don't know what
And
to
the
expect.
higher you go,
Yes. So now that was what was really traumatizing about the second born, to a point where once she told me, we did not talk about that pregnancy up to almost the 7th month.
Yeah.
really?
Yes,
Because you
We
don't
talk
even.
about it.
yes, we did not. For our firstborn, we had the name before. Even she was born. For this one, even on the 9th month,
I'm still looking for a
we were
name.
still looking. We're trying to figure out a name. What does this child mean
Yeah.
to us?
Yeah.
And all that. It was a very, very tough
Yeah, that was the
point.
toughest time of our lives.
And that's what now I realized. Wow. Now again, going back to the issue of marriage in the first year,
Yeah.
it is then working on me.
Oh.
It's then every day working on me.
you.
Okay. And one of the things now I think also Jewel expressed is that for things to happen and God, leave them to God.
yeah, yeah,
No,
it's
nah.
true.
You may plan. Remember,
Yes.
the first child was planned and came. No, nah. And now we thought, God,
Yeah.
you are playing by our game now.
Yeah.
And you realize now God now has totally different
It's
plans.
pretty- yeah,
She wanted to
exactly.
go back to school.
Oh, yeah.
She could
Masters.
now go back to school. We had plans to do all those things. Actually, we had planned to go for a holiday outside the country that December. Now you can't.
Yes.
Stuck in the house.
And I'm thinking about you before you tell us your side of the story and all this, because you're the one who delivered the news. The society, especially other women, we can't allow you to be mad that you're pregnant.
Yeah.
Actually,
it's true.
we can't even allow you to complain of a bad pregnancy because we will remind you there are
Men
women
who are waiting. Yeah, it's true.
So it is actually very difficult to even share that, hey, how do you even say I'm pregnant? Okay. I can't even say I don't want to be like, you know,
Yeah, I
I
get
don't
you.
want
Yeah,
this
yeah,
child in
yeah.
okay. I don't know. We can't allow you.
Yeah. So for me,
How
what
do you
happened-
say it?
So for me, what happened? I think 14 weeks. That's 2 months and a half. Or
Yeah.
about 23. So after that was around May. Yeah, May thereabout. So I started feeling funny in my mouth, and I told him I'm feeling very funny. This is exactly what I felt when I had Tandy. So I told him I'm thinking. I was like, there's no way. And I said, even me, of course, there's no way. I mean, how?
Had the milk come?
No, I didn't get milk ever. So my daughter has been on none ever since.
Oh, okay.
So and that milk was for me actually was mental. It was not that I can't get milk, but I have enough milk. I don't have it excess. The people have excess. They store, the fridge is stuff. I don't have that. But the enough I have, I'm able to do what I can.
Okay.
So I tell him, but he had traveled. So that day I decided, hey, let me just do the pregnancy test just for the sake of my mental. They're quite too serious,
Yeah.
like, whether I have it or not. So I went and took the fake one, the 50 bob one, not fake, the 50 bob one.
Yeah.
That one came default. Not default, what's the name? Faulty.
Faulty,
Yes.
yeah.
I said, okay, what I'll do, I'll buy the other one, the 100 bob one, that is a bit harder. That won't lie to me. So, of course, I went to the toilet. Of course, what do? The moment I was washing my hands, there were two
lines.
defined lines. There was no I'd run away.
Yeah.
So that he was coming home. He was from a trip. So I sat down in the seat and I just sat and I waited for him to come. I didn't even sleep. I couldn't get sleep. Tried to call my mom. She was not picking because those news were hard on me.
Yeah.
So he came home and I told him, he was, why are you still awake at this time? Because it was around midnight or there about 1. I was going to work the next day. I told him, just go to the toilet and see what's there. So he's like, just that? You know, like he was like he was stressed about that thing. Like, don't worry. Come, I didn't know. He was trying to manage me. Because me, I was not in the best place. Like, he could tell I was bad. Like, I was bad. So you see him, he's trying to manage me.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so where are we now? I have not even gotten the gist of giving, taking care of this small human being.
Yeah.
And then here's another one who's going to come. So for me, honestly speaking, it was tough. I don't want to say it was unwanted or what, but literally in that state of mind last year, it was not something I had prayed for, or that I wanted.
Yeah.
Let me see that. So we took the whole process. We didn't speak about it. Honestly, he's not lying. We spoke nothing about it until when one of the days he just said, "I'll take you for a clinic." So we went to the clinic, and then I was diagnosed with gestational diabetes, and that's when we were like, "Oh my God." Then they give us the bad things. Oh, your baby can die. Hey? Then I'm like, okay. So I was like, hey, Sasa, itabidi tu. There's no other option. You have to take care. You have to take the medication right, because the medication you have to take. You have to take your food in portions. You have to do gym. There was all that in place. And then there was one of the days I was watching. I can't remember the couple, but they had lost a baby who had failed from.
You're watching my show.
Yeah, your show. I was watching your show. There's a lady who said, the baby died. I was like, God, forgive me. This that I'm complaining about giving me another child, Lord, forgive me. As in, I'm really sorry. So that's when we accepted it. And then one of the days I was just praying and the Lord told me, this child will redeem you guys. And that's the word that. So when he gave me the names, because he gives the children, we decided give the children names. The name he gave me was exactly what the Lord had told me.
Wow.
So that's how we came into like, okay, fine, this is actually the Lord. For me, I think now after that whole process, I have learned that my life is not mine.
Yeah.
Honestly, my life is God. How he wants to do with me, it's not in my hands.
Yeah.
You can say like they said, we decided to, but it was God who gave.
Yes.
We can decide and not get, and you cannot decide and
If
God still gives you. Yeah. So that's what I learned in that whole process. It was tough dealing with a small human being who's struggling with eczema, and then now me. Thank God she gave me a very good pregnancy.
When you got your fears, did she also have eczema?
No.
Oh, yeah. I know you were scared.
This one is the best.
You see, the other thing, I think most of us see when we leave God to do His thing.
Yeah.
We are normally we are fearful that God will do things that we don't want.
Oh yes.
But then the what would I call it? The comfort was when this other child came. Now Lengiwe. She's just very opposite of the firstborn. No complications. She has nothing. Yani, she has nothing. Our firstborn is a cry.
She's opposite.
She's very opposite. She's quiet. Not that the other one is bad, but the fears of raising the first one, because she wants attention and all those things, and she has now all these other conditions, all those things. She's just full of strength and all over, and you have to watch her all the time. For the second born, she's just calm.
Oh.
She has no any complications and all those things. Both of them are good eaters. So you see, as much as God surprised us with this surprise one.
The surprise one.
Yeah, so the babies are totally very different.
Yeah.
So God surprised us, but then He gave us a baby who is not like the first one.
Yeah.
So all the traumas, we don't have to deal with them with the second one.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And now I think there is nothing, it's so beautiful. And then God's blessing again. All the other troubles of eczema they ended.
Oh.
They ended.
For Tandy.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now they are just we are just having a lot of fun with them and all those things. We don't have to pay extra bills because of Nini. Then these children don't get sick. Well, they go ni homa, but they don't just get sick. So actually, it's such a blessing.
How did or have the babies changed your marriage?
First of all, no privacy. So the fact that now they are, we call them relatives. So the children, and now they're strangers in the house. It's no longer the same. And now the communication, you could do it anywhere, kwa kitchen, ama kwa nini. Now you cannot argue in front of the help and all those things. So there's a whole lot of dynamic. Now you have intruders per se, and these intruders you have to be very careful. Like now, you see now, Tandiwe, our firstborn, can now be able to understand when you guys are arguing. So now you cannot argue just anywhere. You have now to have structure. Actually, it's really maturing as up because now you have to now wait. It's not the time.
It's not the time.
You go to a place where there's a time. So actually now I think the best times is maybe go back to our car conversations. Where we talk there, or maybe in the bedroom, or sometimes you realize. Actually, sometimes I realize some anger that I have. It's just in a moment. The time you wait because of all these people. You realize, so it was a stupid day.
It was petty.
So there's a whole lot of things that have changed because of that child. And personally, I'm glad because now you see it's growth. It's growth. And it's now for a time until now they start going out. And then when they go out, you are left, the two of you. But 20 years older. Now you are a bit more. You are a bit more mature. Your thinking is different and all those things. So those are some of the things that I feel marriage has changed. Children have changed our marriage dynamics. And now also the other thing, the focus now has changed. Not to say that I'm not focusing on her, but now the children have become like a center of a lot of focus. And sometimes you feel as if, okay, I have this thing I want to be done for, but these children are important. You see, children are important. And that has now changed. There's a lot of selflessness that has developed when it comes to marriage. And I'm finding myself even to other people now, I am less selfish. Not only even to my family, my wife and my children. I'm less selfish. I'm thinking about, okay, you first, because now I have already developed the structure of these people first. Like I really treasure a cold glass of Coke when I get to the house. But the first thing when I serve it, my daughter, Coke. And then, so now you have to give her, even if it was the last. You have to give her. When you get to the supermarket, now you don't think about yours first. You have to think about, I need to buy some crisps and yogurt for them. So I only have 800 and imetoshea 750. So it is them. Mine can wait. So that development has helped me so much. And because I'm also in business, I've realized that working with other partners and other people, that it has also made me think, it is making me think about them, not me. Even the other day I was telling them, pateni watoto mtajua. That selflessness kind of thing has developed so much in me that now I don't care, because everything basically I'm doing is for them.
Even the business.
Yes, I am paying more units because the TV is on most times than normal. I am paying a lot of units because they have to with hot water, they have to boil. The young child lazima hita ishide ikiwe hivi on. So you see, everything I'm doing extra is because of them. So when you realize, anyway, what else do I live for?
Wow, that's a good change.
I think for me, what babies have done is intentionality in marriage. We have decided we are leaving the children for an hour. We are going to talk about Jewel and Jonathan. So you are intentional. Even when you're meeting, you even have agendas. We are talking about this. So we have breakfast meetings. We have an intentional every other day just to know how are you doing.
Yes.
What have you done? Is there anything that you need me to help you in? Things like that. Because you discover you're so focused on the children, you forget your spouse naturally. Because as women, we forget them very fast.
Very fast.
Yeah. So I think babies have taught me intentionality in your marriage.
Yeah.
Be intentional, and you have to remember that you have to learn them, because the nitty-gritty. You know, Jonathan has never met me as a mother.
Oh yes.
I've never met him as a father. I just knew him as a friend and then a husband. Now I'm meeting a new side of him as a father. Very different dynamics. You know, how he's going to operate, how he's going to talk, how he's going to do his things are very different. And he's not met me the same. So I can have my own emotions. Maybe that day the children have cried, they have fickered me here. I'll come and shout at him. Not because I want to, it's because I have been. My stress levels are high. So you'll be like, okay, I understand you. First relax. We'll talk after this time. So there's a way you understand each other better. And there's a side of them you don't understand. And then now for me, the other thing is 2 children are a different ball game. I think one you can manage. 2 to serve lunch now you have to understand.
2 with that difference, especially.
And then they are different. So you have to learn them. You have to know, even though this one is stressful, or rather, this way is this not our needs are not understanding each other. I still have to love her and understand her.
Okay, now let's talk about marriage in general. You said it's how many years?
4.
4 years.
Yeah.
What do you think, in your own experience, makes a healthy marriage? I don't say happy, because now people will think we laugh every day. Healthy marriage.
Yeah, healthy. Yeah. Just go first.
No, you go
I
first.
go first. I think one of the things for me in those 4 years I have learned, or rather I've learned, is communicate a lot.
Yeah.
And I think communication doesn't mean pointing fingers, because that's what most of us do.
Yeah.
If he's done something wrong or I've done something wrong, it's about you are the one who you are. You never see the side of your mistake.
Yeah.
So there's a day actually we were arguing and he told me, don't think you're a saint.
Ooh,
You've also made a mistake. You know? Even if I have, there's something that you have contributed to this. So that's when I was like, okay, there's no pointing fingers, but communication means I sit down and say, okay, this is how I felt when this happened.
Yeah.
And this is how I felt you'd have treated me.
Yes.
Yeah. And in a place where you've already thought about, it's not a heated moment. You've already thought about it. So that when you're coming to him or she's coming to you, you're already at your lowest.
Yes.
So even that person understanding you is easy. It's like, okay, now I understand what you meant.
Yeah.
See, when you're coming when you're heated, it's like, what away, because you are at your, so you want mko hapa. But if someone comes down and tells you, by the way, honestly speaking, I didn't feel right when you did 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
I didn't feel right, including even child parenting. The way you, like there's a day you tell me, I don't beat Tandy because of this. That mistake is, she's just growing.
Yeah.
So if he tells you, you see that kind of, I'll be like, even me.
Yeah,
Even
I'm
me,
also a parent.
Even me, I'm also a parent, you see. So you'll be, so I think for me, what I've learned is communicate it. And even if it means away from the situation, go, stay yourself, I stay myself, then now we come after and discuss it.
Yeah.
I think that you deal with it healthier.
Yeah.
And then you're able to, you don't sweep it under the carpet, you deal with it until you issue. That means you not come back again and say, you remember that other day you did? You did the other day you did.
You also did.
Yeah, you also did. Yeah. So I think for me, that's what I've learned. And then also, I've learned also, be gracious, extend grace. Yeah, extend grace, because all of us, both of us are human beings. We can do any. There's a day actually I was laughing at myself. So there's something he used to do, and I was telling, you keep doing, the same thing I don't want him to do. It's the same thing I did that day. So I discovered, oh my God, I am not prone not to do that. That means I have to extend grace. If I say once that's something I don't like and it's done again, I have to remember he's human. He won't change immediately. So I have to extend grace and say, okay, yes, I know there's this part, but I wish you did it like this, or this would have happened. Yeah, so I think these are the two for me that I've learned for healthy marriage. Yeah.
What have you learned?
That's good.
Your secrets. Yeah, that's really deep.
Do I have anything to add?
You have a lot to add.
You have a lot to add.
Yeah.
To me, I would say is selflessness.
Oh.
And the reason I say this is because a lot of what we would call like arguments are from a place of you have not done according to me. Right? And it's an issue of I am not happy because you did this.
Yes.
And also I want you to do the way I think it's right.
Yes, I.
Yes, I. Not I. And when it comes to selflessness, I have started to learn. I'm still learning that it is easier, right? Not to peg everything on you, not even on them. Because if you do that, you're not objective.
Yes.
You start becoming emotional, and there's nothing that gets solved. Second thing about selflessness is every time something happens, when you're selfish, you point a finger at the other person. The first. So when you feel as if you are the one who is on the right and you are justified, and they are the one on the wrong.
Yes.
And let's sort you, and then
we deal with you.
Yes, we deal with me. So I think those two things have started really being a lot of things. Hugely working on myself in being selfless, because one of our church elders, as we were talking, told me that anytime, not only even in marriage, but every time something happens and the first thing you do is point a finger, you are immature.
Ouch.
Yes. And he asked him, hey, that you do that. We used to say that.
Yeah.
What you're trying to say is that everything I should accept, even things that I have not done right. But he told me, if you look keenly at the things that you yourself or that happened to you, there is a part, even if it's 1%, there is a part that you have played.
Yeah.
Even when you are walking on the road and a headmaster in our language is mwenda wazimu, a person who is mad, insults you. The first thing we do is, he's mad. But ask yourself, why is it that he has left all these 7 people and insulted you, or rather done something to you? And this guy was telling me now, of course, I don't know, a lot of different people watch the show, but according to what I believe, there is something that is trying to be communicated from this guy to you. And this guy, when he was giving that scenario, when he was walking from like a distance from here to the road, he felt that there was something that God was trying to tell him through this person. And it is something that the wife had told him, and he was not listening.
Oh.
Way. Okay.
Right? So he told me, you see now, if I had dismissed that it is a madman, and not put that to what the madman said, then he could have not said, oh, okay, it's another way that this thing is trying to be addressed. And he said, anytime this should be the attitude. Don't go back to the genesis of all this whole thing when God asked man, what have you done? And man said, it is the woman. And then when the woman was asked, the woman said, it is the serpent. You see, this is an entire blame game, right? No one here is taking responsibility. You see? So if we now approach marriage like that and say, okay, so this is what Jewel has, or this is the situation. What's my contribution? To this whole thing? Because there is my contribution. Before we come to her contribution, what's my contribution? And then you realize that, you are either the trigger or the catalyst. You either triggered it, or it happened and then you added its yell. Right? So, and then you realize, okay, so if you are a cause of the problem, then you have to be also now the
part of the solution.
Yes. And being objective now is also about, hey, this has happened. This is my emotional feeling about it. This is the problem. This is the emotional feeling about it. So how do we approach this whole thing? So I think that aspect of selflessness and not blaming all the time should be something that, and you see, personally, I'm not even doing this only for a marriage. But it's some virtues I would want to pass on to my children. No. And you see, blame, when we are blaming people always, to me, it's the highest level of entitlement. Highest level of entitlement, where you feel you are the one who is right and they are wrong. Or you feel they should not have what they have, I'm the one who should have it. So who told you? Yes, on what premise? So that is what I think. There are several other things, many, but to me, that is what is I start there. Then because it changes even how we communicate.
Yes.
Because now when I'm not thinking about myself, our communication is very objective.
Yes.
It's about understanding one another and all those we have. Of course, God is continuously showing us loopholes of our relationship. Now, because we have decided there is no quitting on one another, then it has to work. It has to work. Yeah. So I think to me, selflessness is one major thing. And when I look at the example of Christ himself, selflessness and saying that I have poured myself out, as a drink, as an offering.
Yes.
It's that way. It's you. There is nothing for you. And then what then happens is when we now become selfless, we find that the other person, the consequence is that he or she also becomes selfless, and now she focuses on you. So at the end of the day, you don't feel as if you are the one just giving. You also feel, because she's also doing the same, she's now reciprocating, and you feel that she actually cares. She does. Because sometimes the idea is we give, you feel that you are left nothing. But then in that giving, she also gives back. And then there is that whole balance. So, but then what I have is not mine, it's hers. And then what she has is mine. So it balances out.
That is what we vow to when we get married.
Yes.
All I am, all I have. We're going to say that. We say that at the altar. Someone said we need to go back after 2 years and say those words again.
It's true.
With understanding.
Another one said that I choose to live with you, but according to the vows, let's first of all live. Tuishi kwanza. Then we can make the vow.
Then we can make
knowing
the vows.
exactly what we've got.
Yes. Now, before maybe someone is watching and they are single, what advice would you give single people? There are those who are saying soko ni chafu. There are those who are rushing into marriage. What advice would you give a single lady right now, and you talk to single men?
I think one of the things I would tell them is enjoy your singlehood. Enjoy, flourish. Because once you get married, it's a good thing, it's a good institution, it's ordained by God. But once you do, as they said, you become selfless. So you no longer think of, even if I am to enjoy, I have to incorporate him into my enjoyment. So if I like traveling and he doesn't like traveling, we have to find a balance. And I'm not saying you do not travel or what. Like he enjoys movies, I also enjoy movies, but I enjoy movies outside the comfort of home. I like going to theater. I like going to IMAX, But him is, let's just watch in the house. Let's just, eat, buy some popcorns and eat, So you have to find a balance of, okay, you can eat the popcorns and we can go to IMAX. So for me, I'd say enjoy. Flourish. If you need to do school, he mentioned I couldn't go to school because I got children. And if you need to go to school, better yourself. Let that man find you already better. He should not find you zero, then you're trying to build. As in, you should bring something to the table. Because I had someone once say that it's 1 + 1 gives 1. It's not 0 + 0 giving 1. Meaning I have to be a 1, and it has to be a 1 for it to make a 1. There's no 0 or a half. So you have to be at your fullest to get to joining married. The other thing I'd say is, don't be in a rush. Let it be God's time. And you have to walk. I keep saying walk with God like the way Elijah did, walking with him until he was not seen anymore. Like you are literally walking with him, knowing this is a place where I need to go to the desert. This is a place I need to go to. This is the place I need to do. This is the place I need to do this. If you do that, God will direct your path, and you will see it. It will be very evident. You can even be sitting with someone on a date. You physically he's attractive, but the Lord tell you no, that's not the one I have for you because of 1, 2, 3. Your purposes will be interlinked because of this. So if you walk with God, trust you me, you'll never go wrong. He'll tell you, no, first wait, do your school for 3 months because there'll be a time when you will not be able to do this. Do this because if you go with this other person and not this other one, your knees will clash. So walk with God, enjoy, flourish, thrive in your singlehood. And you will not regret when you get married.
Thank you. To the men.
Men. First of all, wacha niwaambie.
Please tell them to marry.
Soko si chafu.
It's true.
Na kama ni chafu, the so-called the market, the market, the situation here is not new.
Yeah.
No, it was there since. You know, the Bible says that there is nothing new under the sun.
Yes.
It was there. It's just that I think now it's more pronounced, but it was still there. And what I would say to the men, if you focus on what is bad, that's what you will see. I always say that if right now I take you to the street in the highway and I tell you how many red cars can you see, I'm telling you see all red cars. So that's what now is being done right now. The focus is on a lot of what is not working, and so now a lot of attention is there. But let me tell you, as in the day of Elijah, there are 7,000 remnants that are there, and they are good women outside there who have proper character, growing, ready to grow, right? And they are there waiting for good men. Now I must say, waiting for good men. So what most of us men want is that we want good women and ourselves are not good.
Correct.
And so what I would say is one of the things men should do is self-awareness. And self-awareness and ready to self-develop. Because you attract who you are. That's what you get. You are surrounded by just very crazy women. Know that you are the crazy one. You are the one who is attracting that kind of craziness. So make sure if you want this kind of woman, you are developing yourself for that kind of woman. Right? Because then there has to be a mutual exchange. So for young men, make sure that you are grooming yourself to the woman that you have in your head, so that there can be exchange of value. Also, you must understand that marriage, there has to be exchange of value. There has to be there. The other thing you need to understand is that in this side of marriage, there's a lot of responsibility. And you need to prepare your mind to those levels of responsibility. Marriage is not a joke. Marriage is not entering into hit and run like into let's say a club or a PS game and just coming out. You enter, you commit. It's a whole of responsibility. It's another whole ball game. So if you are planning to enter into it with a mentality of frogging around or hit and run, kindly wait.
It's true.
Marriage is not a place to come and satisfy your passions. It has never worked. Marriage is not a place to come and to act on convenience. It does not work.
It's true.
Here it's commitment.
Commitment.
It's about, you realize the day you get married, you realize, you have not married yourself. You have married a totally different person. From that time, things just it's a growth process. So you need to be ready to commit. You need to be ready to take responsibility. You need to be ready to be accountable too. And to be asked questions.
I got that part.
So those are some of the things you need to prepare for all those things. Some mentalities we need to change as men. You see, we have what culture and Africanism has done to a man's mind. And we think that once you enter into marriage, that you are to sit on the king's throne.
Servant-king relationship.
Okay. If that's the mentality, guys, we need to talk and tell you, hey, here is servanthood. Right? It's the same way Jesus would wash Peter's feet. The disciples. That's what marriage is all about. It's serving one another. It's being kind to one another, listening to one another. And haimanishi ni kukaliwa.
It's true.
It's just that servanthood and serving one another. So there's a whole lot of things you could talk to men, but we just need to change our minds, have the right pattern and the right mindset of what a husband is, honor, and also know that you are the one who attracts what you want. So change your heart, change your mind, change your character and all those things. If you are the one who hopes, you will get a one who hopes. Also, God is not unjust. Right? And he will make sure, he cannot be unjust to Jewel, that she has been faithful and she has done right by God to give her to Jonathan, who is now on the other side. So I think it does not just work like that. God is just. But all I would say, man, develop yourself. Know that you're coming into a place where you have to learn how to manage another person. She's not a male like you. She's a woman. Women have different needs and way of thinking. They are emotional people. They don't think like us. They are not. Most of them are not. Some of them are not risk-takers like us. Some are, but some are not. And you need to understand that it's a totally whole different thing. Understanding that they are weaker vessels. We are weak, and not that you are strong. Understanding that we should love them. Honor. We should love them the way they are. So there's a lot of things you could say about men, but that's how it is. And I think there is grace for every man who wants to come to marriage. If there is anything. Finally, don't say that I'm going to test and
I will run.
There is no plan B. This is the only plan. And you enter into it and grow in it, and God will bless and provide everything needed for that.
Wow, that is powerful. Thank you. And there's a statement I don't like when I hear men saying, especially, they're doing everything, then they will settle. Like they're running around doing everything, and then I will settle when I marry. So you take someone's daughter. That's when you settle now as a single man.
It's true. Settle now.
Settle now as a single man. So we are almost. We're done. You have a podcast.
Yes, I do.
You know, I have listened to you and I'm like, I should be listening to this man daily. Tell us about your podcast.
No, my podcast is not relational. It's not it's a business podcast.
It's okay.
She's an entrepreneur. We talk about business and entrepreneurship. Podcast, you can find it on Spotify, on all podcast platforms that are available. And also, it's dubbed. The video version is on YouTube also. On my channel, The African Director.
The African Director.
Yes.
You are the African Director. Wow, okay. I should have known that before. Your podcast, I was on her podcast. And you should invite me back.
We should.
We should, right? Naomba.
You're a veteran.
Yes, tell us about the Sound Girl.
The Sound Girl podcast is a podcast of, I think just generally about life and our experiences. Actually, what makes it unique is that we share experience. Like we pour out our lives to you. And the people we bring on board also do the same. So I do it. I'm a co-host, so it's Sharon and I now. So we call it the Sound Girl podcast. If you've seen Rodah post something on her page, that is me. And Sharon.
It's on YouTube?
Yes, it's on YouTube.
Only on YouTube?
It's on YouTube at the moment.
Currently at the moment.
It's also on Spotify, but only season 1.
The African Director said,
no, it's because it's there, but only season 1. So we don't have the other seasons on podcast. But yes, it's
that's
also on podcast.
So subscribe to the channels as well. We want to spread as much positivity and godliness as possible.
Correct,
and help people focus also on the right things in life, because the world is doing a lot on the other side. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you too.
I'm so glad this happened, and I pray that God will cover your marriage. Bless your children. You will come back here and invite us now for 1,500 people.
Or we still go back to this conversation.
Invite us now to renew your vows.
We'll consider.
10th or 20th. Invite us to come and celebrate, because we know God is going to make you even thrive more. Amen. Thank you guys for watching. We do this every Monday. We have a new show just talking about family, marriage, and relationships. We know that God is working. And if you'd like to be hosted, let me know. My number is always on the description on my videos. God bless you. Bye.